So my friends, welcome to a new crypto update video. Bitcoin at 119,800 US dollars. We've just slipped below the 120,000 US dollar mark again, but it's not really dramatic at this point. Since the beginning of October, or really for weeks now, we've gained almost 11% here. So it's really a very, very good increase, you have to say, for October, which everyone has been, well, crazily waiting for. And you have to say at this point, the altcoins are also exploding upwards. That's, well, a positive sign for now. Still, as we head into the weekend, you should keep taking profits bit by bit at this point. We're in a delicate phase right now, I'll just put it that way. The altcoins are a bit overheated. Bitcoin is also showing clear signs, at least of a short-term overheating. On the larger time frames, everything is still okay. We'll take a calm look at all of this now. Of course, we'll also take a look at the traditional markets, including the stock markets, because one or two stocks have performed very, very well there. I already posted about it in the Telegram group yesterday, but we'll get to that at the end. But before we get started, as always, I'd appreciate it if you'd give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to leave a comment below about how you're feeling at the moment. And if you're interested, you can join the free Telegram talk and signal group. There you'll always get the latest updates if there's any news, plus setups, take profits, and so on. There's a lot going on right now with many trades running. Feel free to join in. You can find the free link for that below in the video description. Alright, let's take a look at Bitcoin. 119,700 US dollars. At its peak, we were at just under 121,000 US dollars. A minor, so to speak, pullback overnight isn't really surprising. On the 4-hour chart, we were completely overheated, with the RSI at 86 on the 4-hour time frame. So it's time to start taking some profits here as well. If we move our sell zone over here, the sell zone is also simultaneously our daily vector candle and of course inefficiency. We have now filled about 75% of it. This also means that the short bot is currently filling up with more and more orders to the upside. It's still running as well. I haven't changed anything about it. Otherwise, there are currently no other short positions running here. Anyone who went long down here should have taken at least 50% out of their position by now, just to play it a bit safe. And as you can see, I've already redrawn the HIP level because for me, there are currently two scenarios that sound very, well, existential, or rather very likely. Scenario number one, we continue to move bullishly. But that also means that a short pullback down here in our area, roughly from 114 to 112,000 US dollars, is also very likely in my opinion. Why? Because here, if we quickly turn on our vectors, we can see that we have a nice 4-hour vector candle here. We have solid volume within this range. We have a 50 IMA in this, in this setup, plus also the 200 SMA on the 4-hour chart. That means the bullish case would be that we get a pullback and from there continue the move upward, then climb towards 130 or even 150,000 US dollars. Bullish case, what would currently confirm this? The limited amount of information. We still have the shutdown in the US. That means we're not getting any data at all right now. We're not getting any non-farm payrolls today, no employment data, nothing. This means the market can still behave a bit unrealistically before we actually get a decision. For the Fed interest rate decision, we now have a 100% probability that rates will be cut without any data. That still needs to be taken into account. That's simply a major uncertainty factor at the moment. Nevertheless, people are fleeing into stocks, crypto, precious metals, all sorts of things. Really, everything is rising right now, no matter where you look. Oh, stocks all-time high, stocks all-time high. It's really insane. So just be careful, take profits, and wait to see how we react down here in this wall zone in the end. Variant B, which is still kind of my, probably most likely scenario at the moment. We're still falling at least toward down here, the 108K, because there's a lot of liquidity down here. We can see that especially on the heat map, not just on the 3-day view, but also on the larger time frames, we simply see that there's a lot of liquidity down there. I've been telling you that all week. You can see here how everything lights up from 112. That's our golden pocket, which I just mentioned, all the way down to 107 or even 105,000 US dollars. That means, for me, the crucial thing now will be the reaction here. If this doesn't hold, it's likely we'll see a dump down here. And since we've already had so much price action in this zone around 108, if we just drag this over, this will become zone number 2, which is very, very important. If this one also breaks, I think that'll be it for now, and then we'll probably fall into this range between 103 and 98,000 US dollars. So for me, that means taking profits. I'm still not short, except for the short bot, which is definitely still running. That doesn't change anything. It's now filling up with orders to the upside. Bullish case, we turn around here, form a higher low, and can break through to the upside. Neutral is the last chance at 108. Then you have to see how the prices react. And as soon as we drop below that, that's when I'll really turn bearish because things don't look good down there. But there would still be hope that the entire market gets flushed out, and I'm also talking about altcoins which could drop another 15 to 20%. Bitcoin would fall 10 to 15%, and then at the end of the month, a real bull case could emerge, possibly with more data, because at the moment it's assumed that this shutdown will probably last another 10 to 12 days, maybe even longer. We don't know, and as long as that's the case, we won't get any information. That means we have to work with what we have, and we know that the market is simply irrational at the moment. So those are the current scenarios. Step by step, I will at least try to place orders here, and of course I'll let you know if anything comes up. At the moment, there's nothing placed here yet. For me, the best option that still exists right now is this area down here, the 102 to 98,000 range. Everything in between we'll have to look at when the time comes. So at the moment, nothing is placed here yet, but these are just some of the options I have in mind right now. As I said, the best case would be a higher low, and then from here we get a new all-time high. Let's move on to the altcoins. Let's start with Ethereum. Ethereum has now completely filled this entire sell zone here. We've reached the 0.786 level, but we didn't get a higher close. That's already a negative point. The golden pocket was hit. At the moment, we're still above it. The RSI is completely overheated. The volume is decreasing. That's not what we want to see. So here as well, a pullback is becoming more and more likely at this point, and that's something we need to watch out for. You can already see here, we drew this in yesterday. Here too, I would really like to see a pullback towards 4,200 to about 4,100 US dollars. And that would also be the bullish case. That means a 10% drop in Bitcoin, a 10% drop would definitely be possible. As I said, keep an eye on the 112 to 108. Those are my most bearish cases. But for me, at the moment, this would be the simplest solution. Ethereum drops down here, maybe even over the weekend, and then starts the new week bullish. That would definitely be an idea. As I said, the long zone is still active. I'm also short here. That means the only short positions I currently have open are BTC and Ethereum. But our long on Ethereum is also running, which is now 50% closed. So I won't be doing anything else there for now. I'm waiting for the pullback and will probably take short profits down here as well. If we break through, the long is still in control. So the long is twice as big as the short. And if you want to trade all of this as well, feel free to register with my partner exchange BingX. Currently, you can get up to 11,500 USDT in bonuses. All you have to do is register, complete KYC, and you're in. And right now, you really get a lot of benefits, so you might be able to use the exchange or open a few trades right from the start. So feel free to take advantage of it. You'll find the link for it below in the video description. Otherwise, Ethereum is relatively uninteresting at this point. I won't be doing anything else for now either. For now, I'll just wait and see how the reaction goes, as well as how the weekend plays out. Solana, same story as with Ethereum at the moment. We can see here as well that we've hit the golden pocket perfectly. We only just missed the 2.414 level. It could still happen. It definitely could still happen. 4-hour time frame is in the overbought zone, and the 1 hour as well with a divergence that's starting to form. So here too, we've taken profits from our long position. 50% is closed, and we'll see about the rest. For me, the primary scenario at the moment, as long as we don't break above here, is still the 172 US dollar mark, or rather the 175 to around 160 US dollar range. Why? Because then, just like we recently saw with Ethereum, we would have a nice ABC correction pattern here as well. So if we say, oops, no, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. If we say this is the A, then this is the B, if we don't break above. And the C would then bring us down here into this area. So keep that in focus. Don't rush just because everyone out there is shouting again, altcoin season, big rally, and so on. Take profits, wait for your pullback, and then look for new entries. That doesn't mean we're going down there. There are also alternative scenarios here where we might turn somewhere in between. But as I said, safety comes first at the moment. There will be a separate update on XRP later. A lot has happened there recently as well. So what else do we have? If we take a quick look, the old trades are still running. Everything has played out, perfectly hit the sell zone, reached the 0.5 golden pocket. Same game here as well. Possibly an A, B, C, so that's why we might already see a bigger correction in the buy zone down here, but everything is still within the expected range. Other than that, there's hype. That's going well too, but it's also right at the 0.5 or golden pocket. So you see what I'm getting at. We're currently in an exciting phase. We've had a week, or really the whole week, of rising prices. Everything is in the golden pocket or near the golden pocket. Everything had a correction beforehand. Now this pump upwards, which in some cases has really been 10, 20, even 25%. Just be careful and don't let yourself get talked into opening a lot of positions right now. All right, then let's move on to gold. What's the situation there? Sell zone has been worked through. I'm still waiting for the pullback here. As I said, the current situation that we don't have any data isn't really what I want to see for this pullback, but maybe it'll happen. I'm not short here, and I'm not short on silver either. Silver has also hit our 3 take profits, but I won't be shorting here or making any changes to the position at the moment. So it's, let's say, on standby. It's still running the remaining 25%, but I won't be shorting into these kinds of candles or these kinds of moves. Then euro against US dollar, no movement at all. But that doesn't surprise me either. As I said, we don't have any news data. We're just really lacking, well, significantly more momentum, to be honest. Let's move over to the DAX. A completely bullish candle to the upside, but that's not really surprising either. So ever since we held our red box here on our support, we've basically continued to be in this larger sideways or accumulation phase. If we just move the box over a bit, you can see it quite clearly. Massive accumulation in this area, but also the US markets are still at completely all-time high levels. Nasdaq at a new all-time high, once again at our trend line up here. It's exciting to put it that way at this point because we're just continuously rising everywhere. And this is also something I notice when I look at a lot of individual stocks right now, the volume keeps decreasing. We could already be in wave 5 everywhere by now. That means really we could be at the very top by now. Just be careful. As I said, you don't have to short everything, but if you go long or something like that, use a tighter stop loss at this point. Then yesterday an alert was triggered for oil. The first buy zone was reached here at this point. I'm not in yet, so only the alert was triggered. For me, that's one of those things where, okay, I'll keep an eye on it here, and I'll also set another alert at the lower edge because oil for me at the moment, it could still go down a bit further. Production volumes have been increased again. But for me, it's a sign that as soon as we see any indication of a trend reversal here, that's when we should be careful and also keep an eye on the entire economy. We've come up to the 0.786 level here. I'll probably open a small long position with 3 times leverage by next week at the latest and keep an eye on the whole thing. And last but not least, Circle broke out completely to the upside yesterday. A higher daily high, which is very, very good, or rather a 4-hour close. I really like that. Since yesterday, if we take a look, the stock has gained 19% from the low to the top. A very, very strong move. The next targets are at 182, or rather 173 to 182, and 219 to 230 if that was the bottom. But it looks very, very good here that this is a nice 1-2 confirmation at this point, or rather that we found our bottom here, and then the targets to the upside are clear. So congratulations to everyone who traded all of this. By now you can also trade all of it on WEEX, so feel free to check it out. As I said, stocks are also being added here more and more over time. That means Circle, Nvidia. I think Robinhood, you can already trade that there as well now. So it's continuing to grow. Otherwise, I'd say this was a really, really long video, but that's fine. There's just a lot to talk about right now because of altcoins, because of Bitcoin, and because of all the news. So I'd say leave a like, subscribe, join the Telegram group, and we'll catch up later for the XRP update. Until then, ciao, ciao, and as always, stay crypto.